Hey Photo2s, welcome to the last project for your theme. I know it sounds like your theme went super quickly, and it did, honestly, but I want to give you some time to do this last project. Um, and if we have some time at the end, maybe we'll do another project on top of this project for your theme, right? The only project we actually skipped um, was the montage, and I thought that maybe the montage would be just a little too hard to do because I don't know that we all have access to the same materials or programs or things like that. So I decided to skip the montage. I was going to try to throw another project in here, but I figured let's just focus on our book, right? So here we go. I'm going to give you a little intro on your book. There's options and there's other videos to go with those options to try to make this video a little bit shorter. So here we go. I always have you guys make a book because a book is the most popular way to view photographs. So think about it. We usually look at books, or we usually look at photographs in books or albums or magazines or that sort of thing. So it's really nice to have that like physical object that you are actually like opening and looking at, and it has your work in it, right? So in this project, you will create 12 new images about your theme, right, based around your chosen theme, and you will include them in a book that you will create, okay? There should be something that kind of ties these images together. It would be kind of odd if these images are in a book and there's 12 of them and they're totally random and they don't really flow together well, so think about that a little bit. Maybe they're laid out in a specific way to tell a story, or they're groups of images, or they have an overlaying theme or idea. Whatever it may be, just make sure that it flows and you have a good layout and design and function of your book, okay? Now, if we were at school, we would actually be making physical handmade books out of real live materials. It's a super fun project, and I'm not talking like we take some construction paper and fold it over and poke some holes in and tie some ribbon. Like we thread the spines together and we get the drill out to drill the holes, and we find materials that work for a hard cover, and you know, a lot of people bring in some really special things and we make some really cool books, and we do it together. And I usually pull in the big long work table, and we usually, you know, make a giant mess and make the actual books together, okay? So since I cannot know what you have access to at home, and I can also not require you to have access to specific things, I cannot actually require you to make a physical book because, you know, some of you might be like me and have a whole house full of crafty supplies that you could, you know, oh, no problem, I'll throw some stuff together and make a book. But then some of you may have nothing more than like paper and pencils at home. So I have come up with 3 options for your book making, okay? Option number 1, if you happen to be the crazy crafty person like I am, and you happen to have actual materials at your house, you can make a physical book. Like, you could actually make the thing, right? Now, this also means that you would also have to be able to print your photographs somehow. So, because that's what we do at school, we print the photographs and we make the book, and then we attach the photographs to the pages of the book. So you'd have to have access to a printer, or you'd have to, you know, send them somewhere to get printed or something like that. If you choose a handmade book, you're not going to just wing it. You're not going to punch holes with a 3-hole punch and tie some string. You're going to make an actual sturdy, professional-looking book, okay? I have included a folder of instructions in Schoology for how to make different types of books. You can look through that. Pinterest is also fantastic. I have a Pinterest page that is all about book making. I mean, you could go to the internet and be like, how to make a book, and follow the instructions. You can make the shape and size, totally up to you, which you have to think about your shape or the size of your photographs and make sure that a vertical or a horizontal image can fit on your page and that sort of thing. You also have to make sure that it's sturdy and professional looking and that your pages aren't going to tear when you open them and then it's not going to flop all over the place. If you decide to make a handmade book, how you're going to turn it into me is you're actually going to make a video of yourself flipping through and pretty much showing us your book. So a little video about you flipping through your book and like showing us all the parts of it, okay? That's option number 1, you guys. Option number 2, you can make a digital book. There are apps on your iPad that make books, right? Now these digital books will only exist digitally, right? They're not a physical thing, it's just a digital book. Pages is an app on your iPad, has a great bookmaker. You could adjust designs and all kinds of fun things. There's another app called Book Creator that is in the self-serve store that you could put on your iPad and you can make books like that, okay? They are both great. You could do lots of fun things with them. They're both a great option because you all have access to this, option number 2, right? It's free, it's easy, it's, you know, available to you, okay? I have made a tutorial on how to make a book in Pages of Book Creator. So if you are interested in option number 2, find the option number 2 video and, you know, watch that, okay? Option number 1, I did not make a video. I have a folder of instructions that you can look at for option number 1. Last option, option number 3, buy a book. I do not mean like buy a blank book and like put your photos in it. I mean, there are sites out there like Snapfish or Shutterfly and a bunch, a million other ones where you can actually create a book digitally and then order it, pay for it, and they'll print it on an actual book and send you the book. You can make really nice fancy books. You can make little simple books. You can make all kinds of things. They're really, really nice. I order from Snapfish all the time. I make calendars every year for Christmas. I've made books. I've gotten big prints from them and canvas prints. I even got a blanket from them once. Super fun, okay? And again, I made another video on how to use Snapfish to create and buy a book. Now, if you're thinking about this option, you have to make sure that you can take your pictures, edit your pictures, make the book on Snapfish, and have it like printed and sent to you by the deadline. So that might be real tight. You might have to look into like, if I order a book tomorrow, how long is it going to take for it to get here? Because again, in order to turn it in, I want you to take a little video of yourself, like flipping through your book and like telling us about it and that sort of thing. Okay, so that's option number 3. Okay, important information for all your options. Overall design should be professional, sturdy, well thought out. Design should highlight your work and not distract from it. So don't put like dancing bananas in the background. You know, nice, professional, clean adds to your work. Overall, you should title the overall book and make sure it has your name on it somewhere. You have to have at least 12 new images about your theme. Your book must be finished, downloaded, and mailed to you by the due date. All images should follow your theme. This is your last project, so make it your best project. 12 photographs and a book. So I'm giving you guys a lot of time to think through this idea, take the photos for this idea, make the book for this idea. I want to give you extra time to do this, but I don't want you to wait until like the last 3 days to try to throw the whole thing together. It's going to be very, very obvious if that is the case. Now, I do also want to say this. I know that we are on a pass-fail grading system right now, and that I've been handing out hundreds, and sometimes it kind of kills me to do that for some people. But I do also want to remind you that if you are thinking about moving on to photo 3 or above, the work that you do right now for me is what I am going to look at and your work ethic and meeting your deadlines and being part of our critiques, that all determines whether or not you move on to photo 3 or not. So I'm going to give you a couple weeks to work on this project, and I'm giving you a couple weeks to work on this project because I want it to be phenomenal. So you could take that couple weeks and work on this project the whole time and come up with something like a grand finale for your theme, or you could blow off the whole couple weeks and throw something together in like 2 seconds. And that I'm going to see that. I'm going to know how much time you spent on this project. I'm going to know. It's really obvious, right? So think about your 3 ideas. If you have questions, message me. Look through the videos I made for each part. Look through the, instructions for part number 1. Choose something that's doable for you. I like all 3 of these options. I think they're all great options. So I don't dislike one, more than the other, or like one more than the other. I wish we could all make physical books because I think it's just a great thing to do and an awesome thing for you to walk away with. But, right now that's just not possible. So we're going to do the best we can with what we have, and it's still going to be amazing. Okay? All right, you guys, can't wait to see what you come up with. And as always, if you have questions, please message me.